The rain hit my windshield so hard it sounded like someone throwing rocks at the car. I sat outside my ex-girlfriend's apartment building at nearly midnight, staring at the box on the passenger seat. Inside were all the pieces of a relationship that had collapsed without warning: her oversized hoodie, the silver necklace she left at my place, Polaroids from road trips, and the key to my apartment she never bothered to return. 3 weeks earlier, Olivia had looked me in the eyes and said, "I think we want different futures." That was it. 2 years together reduced to one cold sentence. I should have mailed her things. Every friend told me that. But some stupid part of me wanted closure. Maybe I wanted to see regret in her eyes. Maybe I wanted proof she missed me too. The hallway smelled like old carpet and cigarette smoke as I climbed the stairs to apartment 3B. My chest tightened with every step. I knocked once. No answer. Then the lock clicked. But it wasn't Olivia standing there. It was her roommate, Madison. Messy blonde hair. Oversized gray sweatshirt slipping off one shoulder. Bare feet. Tired eyes that somehow still looked beautiful under the dim apartment light. She stared at the box in my hands, then at me. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then she said quietly, "You didn't hear?" My stomach dropped. "Hear what?" Madison hesitated before opening the door wider. "She's gone." Thunder cracked outside. I blinked. Gone where? "She packed her stuff yesterday." Madison swallowed hard. "She moved to Seattle, with her new boyfriend." The words hit like a punch straight to my ribs. I actually laughed once, short, broken, pathetic. "Wow." Madison looked at me carefully. Like she could see my heart splitting open in real time. Then she glanced at the storm outside. "You can stay tonight," she said softly. And somehow, that invitation changed everything. I stepped inside because I honestly didn't know where else to go. The apartment looked different without Olivia's energy in it. Less warm. Less alive. Her plants were gone from the windowsill. The framed photos had disappeared from the walls, leaving pale squares where memories used to hang. Madison took the box from my hands gently and set it near the couch. "You want something to drink?" she asked. I rubbed my face. "You got whiskey?" A tiny smile tugged at her lips. "That bad, huh?" Apparently my girlfriend moved across the country with another guy, so yeah, little bad. She disappeared into the kitchen and returned with 2 glasses anyway. We sat in silence while rain hammered the windows. I'd met Madison dozens of times before during my relationship with Olivia, but I'd never really seen her. She was always in the background, making coffee, studying on the couch, teasing Olivia about reality TV. Now it was just us. And suddenly the apartment felt too quiet. "She didn't tell you because she knew you'd try to stop her," Madison finally said. "I wouldn't have." Madison raised an eyebrow. "Okay," I admitted. "Maybe I would've." She nodded like she already knew. "What happened?" I asked. Madison stared into her glass. "Honestly? Olivia stopped being happy months ago. She just didn't know how to tell you." The honesty stung worse than lies. I leaned back into the couch. "You know what sucks most? I thought she was the person I'd marry." Madison looked at me then, not with pity, but understanding. That kind of heartbreak changes people. The storm flickered light across her face. For the first time all night, I noticed how exhausted she looked too. "You okay?" I asked. She laughed quietly. "Funny enough? Not really." Something shifted in the room after that. Not romance. Not yet. Just 2 broken people sitting in the ruins of something neither of us knew how to fix. Then the power suddenly went out. The apartment dropped into darkness. Madison cursed softly. And somewhere in the dark, her hand found mine. The power outage should have lasted 10 minutes. Instead, an hour passed. Then 2. Madison lit candles around the apartment while thunder rolled outside like distant explosions. Shadows danced across the walls, turning the tiny living room into something strangely intimate. "I hate storms," she admitted quietly. "You?" I laughed. "You seem fearless." "That's because you don't know me." The way she said it carried weight. I watched her curl into the corner of the couch, knees tucked to her chest beneath a blanket. She looked smaller somehow. Vulnerable. "You and Olivia were really serious, huh?" she asked. "Yeah. You love her?" I opened my mouth automatically. Then stopped. Because suddenly, I didn't know anymore. I think I loved who she used to be, I admitted. Madison stared at the candle flame. That's the worst kind. A loud knock suddenly hit the apartment door. Both of us jumped. Another knock. Harder this time. Madison immediately tensed. "Who is it?" she called. No answer. Then another bang shook the door. I stood up instantly. "Madison?" Her face went pale. "That's probably Tyler." "Who the hell is Tyler?" She looked away. "My ex." The next bang rattled the frame. "Madison, I know you're in there." Her breathing changed instantly, short and panicked. I moved toward the door, but she grabbed my wrist. "Don't," she whispered. The fear in her voice stopped me cold. "You scared of this guy?" She didn't answer. Which was answer enough. Tyler pounded again. "Open the damn door." Every instinct in my body kicked awake. I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I was angry. Madison stood up shakily. "He's been showing up drunk lately. He usually leaves eventually." "You didn't call the cops?" "He hasn't technically done anything." The door handle suddenly jerked violently. That was enough for me. I walked to the door and yanked it open. A tall guy in a soaked leather jacket stumbled forward, drunk and furious. Then he saw me. His expression darkened instantly. "Who the hell are you?" Behind me, Madison whispered my name nervously. But something inside me had already snapped. And Tyler smiled. Not a friendly smile. The kind that promised violence. Tyler looked between me and Madison, piecing together a story that wasn't even true. Then again, maybe it was becoming true. "You move on fast," he sneered at Madison. "It's not like that," she shot back. He ignored her completely and stepped closer to me. "So what, you her new boyfriend?" Normally I would have walked away. 3 weeks ago, I probably would have apologized just to avoid conflict. But heartbreak changes your tolerance for disrespect. And watching Madison shake behind me made my blood boil. "She told you to leave," I said calmly. Tyler laughed. "Or what?" The hallway went silent except for the rain pounding outside. Then Madison surprised both of us. "Or I'll finally tell the police what you did." Tyler's expression changed instantly. Fear. Real fear. "What are you talking about?" I asked quietly. Madison's eyes never left Tyler. "The night he grabbed me hard enough to leave bruises." Tyler stepped forward aggressively. "You lying little." I shoved him back before he could finish. He swung first. The punch clipped my jaw hard enough to make my ears ring, but adrenaline took over fast. I tackled him into the hallway wall, and suddenly we were crashing into doors while neighbors shouted from inside apartments. Tyler cursed and tried to hit me again, but I pinned him hard. "You ever touch her again," I growled, "I swear you'll regret it." Something in my voice made him believe me. He finally backed away, breathing hard. "This isn't over." Then he disappeared down the stairwell. Madison slammed the door shut behind us and immediately burst into tears. Not dramatic tears. The kind people hold in for months until they physically can't anymore. I didn't know what to do at first. Then instinct took over. I pulled her into my arms. And she held onto me like she was drowning. "I'm sorry," she whispered against my chest. "I'm so sorry." "For what?" "For being relieved you're here." Those words hit harder than Tyler's punch ever could. Because deep down, I was relieved too. By 3 in the morning, neither of us had slept. Madison sat on the kitchen counter holding an ice pack against my jaw while soft jazz played from an old speaker near the sink. "You look terrible," she teased. "You should see the other guy." She smiled for the first time that night. And honestly, it wrecked me a little. There's something dangerous about seeing light return to someone's face after hours of sadness. It makes you want to protect it. "You know what's weird?" she said softly. "What?" "I used to be jealous of Olivia." That caught me off guard. "Why?" Madison shrugged awkwardly. "Because you loved her loudly." I frowned. "You brought her coffee before work. You remembered tiny things she said. You looked at her like she mattered." Her eyes drifted downward. I kept wondering what it feels like to be loved like that. The room suddenly felt too small. "Madison. She was stupid for losing you." My chest tightened painfully. Nobody had said that to me before. Not once. After Olivia left, everyone kept explaining why relationships fail. Why people grow apart. Why it was understandable. But Madison? She looked angry on my behalf. And somehow that healed something inside me. "You deserve better too," I said quietly. Her expression cracked a little. "You don't know enough about me to say that." "Then tell me." For a long moment, she hesitated. Then she finally admitted the truth. Tyler hadn't just been controlling. He'd isolated her from friends, manipulated her, made her feel small, worthless. "And the worst part," she whispered, "after enough time, you start believing them." I stepped closer carefully. "You believe him?" Her eyes met mine. "No," she said softly. "Why not?" A long silence filled the kitchen. Then she whispered words I never expected. "Because of the way you looked at me tonight." And suddenly, everything changed between us. Morning sunlight crept through the blinds, exposing the emotional wreckage of the night before. Madison had fallen asleep on the couch with her head against my shoulder sometime around dawn. I barely slept at all, because my mind wouldn't stop spinning. About Olivia. About Tyler. About Madison. And about the terrifying realization that I felt calmer sitting beside this woman than I had during the final months with my actual girlfriend. Madison woke slowly and smiled sleepily when she realized where she was. Then her phone buzzed. The smile vanished instantly. "What?" I asked. She stared at the screen in horror. "It's Olivia." Every muscle in my body tightened. Madison answered cautiously. "Hello?" I watched her expression change from confusion, to anger, to disbelief. "What do you mean you didn't tell him?" Madison snapped. My stomach dropped. "Tell me what?" I asked. Madison muted the call slowly. Her face had gone pale. She didn't leave because she fell in love with someone else. "What?" Madison swallowed hard. "She left because," her voice cracked, "she found out she was pregnant." The room tilted sideways. I actually laughed from shock. "What?" "She miscarried 2 weeks ago," Madison whispered. "And after that, she panicked and ran." My chest felt hollow. Pregnant. We almost had a child. And I never even knew. Anger crashed through me so hard I had to stand up. "She didn't even tell me?" Madison looked devastated. "She thought you'd stay out of obligation. That wasn't her decision to make." I punched the wall before I could stop myself. The apartment fell silent. Then Madison walked toward me carefully. "She's coming back," she said quietly. "What?" "She's on her way here now." And suddenly the emotional chaos I thought was over had only just begun. Olivia arrived 40 minutes later. The second I saw her standing outside the apartment door with swollen eyes and trembling hands, every emotion I buried came roaring back. Anger. Love. Confusion. Grief. She looked smaller than I remembered. "Can we talk?" she whispered. Madison quietly grabbed her keys. "I'll give you guys space." But before she could leave, Olivia noticed the bruise on my jaw. Then she noticed the blanket on the couch. And finally, she looked at Madison. Understanding flashed across her face instantly. "Oh, it's not what you think," I said immediately. But Olivia laughed bitterly. "Isn't it?" Madison stepped in quickly. "Olivia, stop." "No," Olivia snapped. "I leave for 3 weeks and suddenly he's here protecting you." "That's not fair," Madison fired back. The tension exploded instantly. "You know what isn't fair?" Olivia shouted, tears spilling down her face. "Losing a baby and feeling so alone that you run across the country because you can't even breathe anymore." Silence. My anger shattered instantly. Olivia collapsed into tears. "I was scared," she whispered to me. "I didn't know how to tell you. I wanted to hate her. God, I tried. But heartbreak is complicated when the person who hurt you is hurting too." Then Olivia looked at Madison again. And softly asked the question nobody wanted to answer. "Do you love him?" Madison froze. The room stopped breathing. And then she whispered the truth. "Yeah." Olivia closed her eyes like the answer physically hurt. But what destroyed me most was realizing part of me felt the same way. Olivia left an hour later. Not dramatically. Not angrily. Just quietly. Like someone finally accepting a door had closed. Before leaving, she stopped beside me at the doorway. "I did love you," she whispered. I nodded slowly. "I know. But we were already breaking before the baby." That truth hurt because it was real. Then she looked toward Madison standing silently near the kitchen. And for the first time all day, Olivia smiled faintly. She sees you better than I ever did. Then she walked away. The door closed softly behind her. And suddenly the apartment felt impossibly still. Madison stared at the floor. I'm sorry. For what? For falling for you. I walked toward her slowly. You know the messed up part? I admitted. I think I started falling for you before I even realized my relationship was ending. Tears filled her eyes instantly. We shouldn't, she whispered. Probably not. You just lost someone. So did you. We stood inches apart, carrying entirely different kinds of heartbreak. Then Madison looked up at me with tears running down her face and whispered, I don't want to be somebody's rebound. The honesty in her voice nearly broke me. So I answered honestly too. You're not. A long silence followed. Then she kissed me. Softly. Carefully. Like both of us were terrified the moment would disappear. And somehow, in the middle of all that pain, it felt real. Not perfect. Not clean. But real. The kind of connection people don't expect. The kind born from surviving the worst nights of your life together. 6 months later, I returned to apartment 3B1 last time. Only this time, Madison was beside me holding my hand. We were moving out. Together. The apartment looked completely different now, sunlight, plants, laughter, life. The darkness that once lived there was gone. Madison folded the last box shut while music played softly in the background. You okay? She asked. I looked around slowly. This place used to feel haunted. She smiled gently. And now? Now it feels like the place that saved me. Her eyes softened instantly. The truth was ugly and beautiful at the same time. I came there to return pieces of a dead relationship. Instead, I accidentally found the person who understood me most. As we carried boxes downstairs, I noticed someone sitting in a parked car across the street. Olivia. She stepped out slowly when she saw us. For one terrifying second, I thought old emotions would come rushing back. But they didn't. Because closure finally arrived quietly, not dramatically. Olivia smiled at Madison first. Then at me. I'm moving back to Seattle tomorrow, she said. I just wanted to say goodbye properly this time. I nodded. I'm glad you did. There was sadness in her eyes. But peace too. Before leaving, she hugged me tightly and whispered, You were never meant to be my forever. Then she looked toward Madison. She was. And for the first time since my entire world fell apart, everything finally made sense. As Madison slipped her hand into mine, I realized something. Sometimes the worst night of your life becomes the beginning of the best thing that ever happens to you. And all because someone opened a door and said, She's gone. You can stay.